favorite show, most likely not, Raid Radio. Now, this is going to be an extra special week because sadly, it's a little bit of a bittersweet week. Sadly, this is going to be the last week. The lovable, often imitated, rarely capitulated Roah will be with us. Don't you fret. We're going to get to it a little bit later in the show. However, Raid Radio will not be vanishing from the airwaves. In fact, they will be coming back next week, new and improved. I have a new co-host coming in. He's been on the show before. I'll talk about it later in the show. We're also going to be moving dates. But it's a special show for Roah, so I'm not here to impede that. We're going to start off by going through some of the most awesome stuff, some of the coolest stuff from the BFA that we have talked about over the couple weeks we've been doing. So over the couple months we've been doing. It's been a while. What do you want to start here with, Roah?
Well, I think you're really liking the Vulperian, aren't you?
You know what? Liking the Vulperian is an understatement. I'm a fan of the Vulperian, and I really think they're going to become an allied race. And honestly, do we have some Vulperian stuff to talk about? Roah is the hugest Vulperian guy. He'll tell you that himself. So, Roah, can you tell him what we know about Vulperian so far?
We know that they're not going to be an allied race.
Okay,
so.
What he's saying is a lie. We've confirmed we have a tabard for them. We've had a lot of speculation about them. We have a few different mounts that could be theirs. We have a Sandcrawler mount that is definitely a candidate. We also have the recent Hyena mounts. A lot of people are speculating that those could be Vulperian. Honestly, my big guess for Vulperian if Vulperian were to become an allied race, I'm almost sure that the mount that they would get would be the Hyena mount. What do you think, Roah?
I don't know. Why are you so sure with the Hyena mount?
Because it's confirmed that it's going to be coming from Vulperian anyway.
I don't know. I don't think they're going to be allied race.
I don't know. Why is it that you don't think they're going to be allied? Like, can you explain your thought process?
There's no place for them in WoW.
What do you mean? We have pandas.
Okay.
We have Worgen. We have pandas and Worgen. Why?
There's only room for 2 furry people in WoW.
Come on.
So
Horde doesn't even have a standalone furry race. Come on.
They have the pandas. I mean, that's good enough, right?
Yeah, but pandas can be alliance too. Horde needs their own furry race, okay? And that furry race is going to be Vulperian. 420 confirmed. I'm 100% sure the Vulperian.
I don't think so. Do you want to bet on it?
Fuck it, yeah. I'll bet you 20,000 gold that by the end of BFA they'll be an allied race.
Only 20,000?
Well, I don't want to overbet. I don't know how much gold I'm gonna have by the end.
You sound pretty confident in this.
You know what? It's because Roah. Because next expansion I'm gonna be spending all my gold on pots and stuff, and I'm gonna run out of gold by the end of the expansion, and I don't want to underpay you.
So you're not confident that they're gonna be an allied race?
I'm so confident they're gonna be an allied race. Any 20,000 gold by the end of next expansion. Now I don't think they're gonna be an allied race right away. I think it's going to be a while, but a couple months into the expansion, we're having a little bit of a lull period. They don't really know what to do. They're going to become an allied race because they're going to fill time. I suspect there's going to be adding a ton of allied races next expansion, though. Obviously we have the ones that are already confirmed, being Magra Orcs, Dark Iron Dwarves, Zandalari Trolls, and Kul Tiran humans. Now, out of those, I'm actually really surprised because the Magra Orcs, those are kind of a later confirmation, yet they appear to be they're going to be the starting allied race for Horde. They're going to be the first ones that you get.
Oh, I think under my impression, isn't it because Dark Iron Doors are supposed to be the starting ones you're supposed to get, but I think you have to get to level 120 first, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think. We actually don't know very much about that. Recently we did get a little bit of a starting scenario for getting the Magra Orcs, but we haven't really got the same for Dark Iron Dwarves yet. Yeah, I don't know. Which allied race do you think is the best so that they've confirmed so far?
I think Dark Iron Doors probably. They look just super prison, badasses.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I think by far Dark Iron Dwarves are the best offering that we've got so far. They just have really good racials. You know, they're I'm pretty sure that they're going to be BIS for Paladin if they're not already. You know, they're probably BIS for any tanking class. You know, Brewmaster, just because I think just because of all their racials. Also, their
What's
Moldish.
yeah, what's interesting to me is like they have the MDI and stuff like
Yeah,
so their racials are probably one of the best for dungeons. I wonder if we're gonna see a bunch of like allied or mythic dungeon groups that require you to be like a Dark Iron Dwarf or whatever, you know?
yeah, no, 100%. I mean, in the same way that you have mythic dungeon groups now that require you to be a blood elf or arcane torrent or whatever. Which I will note, that's another huge thing that happened recently. The arcane torrent nerf. I don't know if we really talked about this much, but if you don't know, arcane torrent at the moment it's a huge mythic plus, huge in PvP, and they're basically nerfing it to make it a disorient or something along the lines of that, and it's basically a complete nerf of it. You know, some people are saying it's killing the ability. I don't think they're far off. You know.
It needs to be nerfed. Let's be honest
Yeah, no,
here.
I totally thought thought it needed to be nerfed too, because you did see, like, out of the high level mythic dungeon teams, and not even just that, out of the high level mythic guilds, the vast majority were horde. You know, it would be weeks before you'd have a boss be down on horde side, and then it would be like half a week, or almost maybe a whole week of progression before alliance was able to get them down, just because of the amount of time that it takes with all of the disadvantages the alliance have. So I
What do you
think,
mean for like a mythic raid?
yeah, for mythic,
I don't know if it was that
it was
crazy.
considerable. It was at least a few days. I
But
mean,
I don't. Does Arcane Torrent even affect bosses? Like I don't think it does.
well, it's there are certain bosses where it will because of ads. You know, if you look at like Scorpion was a good example of this. Um, I don't know. Yeah, there are several reasons why Horde is the head of Alliance though, and I think that a lot of the allied races are sort of working to hammer that out. No pun intended. Okay, pun a little bit intended, to sort of make them a little more even. What
Yeah.
about the Magra Orcs? Magra Orcs are pretty good too. Their racials are fine. They're nothing special. Another awesome thing we heard about for Orcs recently, we got the upright backs, and the upright backs, like, that's huge. You know, obviously,
Yeah.
great posture like that. It really revolutionizes Orcs as a whole. And I've explained this before, but even if they add like a binary option where you just get two, like you can now become this or that, like just two things, that drastically increases character customization, because now you can get those two things with any combination. Also, something interesting about Magra Orcs, having played one in the BFA Alpha, I was surprised by how many skin options they have. So basically, you can be any clan that you can think of from Draenor. Like you can be Blackrock, you can have like gray skin with scars on it. There are so many options.
Yeah, they're just like throw them all together in this
Yeah,
one orc.
there's like 20 different skin options and a ton of faces. They might have the most customization out of any race, and that's not an
Yeah, and
exaggeration.
obviously being able to go with the back right, upright back, that's a huge
Yeah,
game changer for
of course.
Transmog.
100%, because you know what? I have a troll. I know I have an orc mage. Can't transmog on the guy. He looks like it's like fucking what's that one movie with the clock tower, the bell tower? Notre
Oh,
Dame. It's like the fucking
oh
Notre
yeah,
Dame Hunchback.
yeah. Hunchback of Notre Dame or
Notre
whatever.
Dame. Yeah, exactly. It's it's terrible. It's hard to transmog on orcs right now, and this should help at least a little bit.
Yeah, I know you're gonna be real happy about that.
Yeah, I might actually play my orc mage. Uh, Now, obviously, these are cool, but the real thing that have been awesome about the recent allied races is that all the new allied races that have druid options are getting new druid forms. I guess there's always been different druid forms to different races, but these new druid forms are like nothing we've seen before. I don't know which one you want to look at first here.
We can go ahead and look at the Kul Tiran stuff, I
Yeah,
guess.
start off strong. I think now I know that I'm a horde and I'm not supposed to like alliance stuff, but I think Kul Tiran won the druid form battle. I don't know if you'd agree with me there, bro. Like there are definitely a few forms for Zandalari that I like more, and I'll talk about that when we look at them. But Kul Tiran, I think overall have better druid forms. Now these are the bear forms, of course,
Yeah,
and these are
I
probably the
don't know.
weaker. These are probably the weaker of the forms that we have so far for them.
I mean, when the Kul Tiran forms first came out, I really liked the wicker thing, but it's just they all look really similar to me.
Yeah, I can see that. Another problem, the bear is very bulky. I don't know if the super works. The cat one definitely works if you want to pull that up. Might take you a second. He's a little bit slow.
Yeah, right here. Do they have? Last time I checked, they didn't have boomkin forms or anything like that yet.
Forms out yet? No.
Yeah. So if they, I don't know, if they look anything, maybe these are just real similar because they're like animals, like the bear and the cat. But
yeah, no, definitely that's true. And obviously the Zandalari forms, they all look very different from each other, and that's honestly the fact.
It's like a huge variety, as this Kul Tiran is kind of all the same across the board. It seems like.
Mm-hmm. But I still think that they're really cool. Maybe they don't have variety, but you have to admit that's a really awesome druid form. In fact, that might be my favorite cat form. It's arguably better than a few of the artifact forms too for cat.
Yeah, it's just crazy looking, isn't it?
But it's like nothing we've seen before. You get a saber tooth sort of thing going.
Yeah, it almost looks like this is an undead druid, to be honest.
A little bit. That's the whole thing about them. This comes down to obviously lore, and we're not really lore people. I mean, I have read the chronicles, and I know a fair bit about lore, but the show really isn't about lore. But from what I can understand, the way that these druids work, it's not in the traditional sense, but it's actually more of a darker kind of magic, because they turn into wicker beasts, which are like a witch thing, and are somewhat connected to the old gods. So,
And the good old god disco.
Yeah, a little bit of old god disco, OGD. Expansion following BFA. There's a lot of old god connections in BFA. The whole Druxvar Wicker area with the witches. Now, sure, there might be witches, but the witches are the least of your worries. What you got to be worried about are the old gods that are empowering the witches to do all this shit.
Yeah. I mean, I personally can't wait for a raid to come out for that.
Yeah, we already have Nazmir. That's going to be confirmed to have some old god influences. But you're right. There's definitely going to be a Druxvar raid with witches and wickers. I'm almost sure of it. I guess we could, I think there definitely should be a Druxvar raid. We are confirmed to have a Queen Azara raid, and I'm sure that that's going to be Storm whatever. A lot of people are saying that there'll be a Zandalari raid. If you don't know Zandalari, that's the capital city for Horde. A lot of people are saying there's going to be a raid there, and I can believe that too. But we'll just have to see what sort of other raids what sort of other raids come in. I'm hoping for a ton of raids like we had this expansion. A fair few.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't. I don't think there was like a shitload of raids this expansion. Was there? There's what, 4 or 5?
Yeah, something like that, 4 or 5.
But I think they did a really good job in spacing them out and delivering the content, stuff like that. So there's not like an 11-month drought or whatever.
Yeah, and this was obviously, if you don't know, BFA is coming out wicked soon, August 14th.
Yeah, and
a couple more months.
3 months.
Yeah, 3 months. That's not really. It'll be here before we know it.
Yeah, that's 9 weeks. So level your alts and shit.
Hunker down, get your artifact appearances. Let's see. Let's go to the Zandalari forms. Look those over real quick. Just we're trying to do a little bit of a recap of what we've learned so far about BFA. The Zandalari forms are really cool. We actually do have the Boomkin form for these guys. It's kind of an Arakoa kind of thing going on.
Yeah, this is my favorite Boomkin forming game.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's like, again, it's like nothing we've ever seen before. I think that's what really sets this stuff apart from other stuff that we've seen. It's like, it's so different. The Boomkin form is an Arakoa. It's kind of the type of thing, except it has pterodactyl, like horns and wings. They also get a pterodactyl. Their flight form is pterodactyl. And, and their travel form is a raptor.
I think this is my favorite part about them, those were turtle or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, the turtles are really cool. I didn't like them at first, honestly, but they're kind of growing on me. My problem with them is they seem a little bit too skinny, if you know what I mean.
Too skinny? What are you talking about, man? Look at
that
thing.
You.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, it has spikes coming out the side of it.
So No,
It's a
gonna hurt
snapping turtle. Like, this thing is terrifying. Honestly, this should just be like the DPS form for him.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to pull up the DPS form. The DPS form got a lot of controversy. A lot of people didn't like it, Row included. I have kind of two ways about it. Part of me likes, part of me doesn't. A lot of people are calling it Craptor because it's a cat raptor. Um, it's sort of a weird amalgamation of like raptor. It's very odd. We'll just have to pull it up real quick. But yeah, honestly, I think Zandalari. This is one of the reasons why I think that the Kul Tiran have better forms. It's just because Zandalari have a bunch of really cool forms, but they're so different from everything that we've seen in the game that some of them are a little bit too revolutionary. The Crafter being a key example of it. Like, what is that?
Yeah, I don't know what this thing.
You know,
It just doesn't look very good to me yet.
it's just so weird. And I've been trying to be like, let's see it in motion, but in motion it's just as weird. It's just very odd.
I think if you're gonna roll a druid on the horde side for like anything,
Well, one, I'd try to get the artifact appearance if you can. Otherwise, I'd go probably, probably Tauren or High Mountain Tauren.
yeah, if you're going feral DPS, do that. But like if you're doing any and boomkin or anything like that, I'd go Zandalari.
Yeah, as long as but if you're gonna be feral, I would probably skip Zandalari just because I don't know.
I mean, who wants to be this weird lizard dog
And
thing?
maybe I'm sure there are people who really like it. And
I don't think so. This
no,
is
I'm
just
sure,
like the Vulperian. Nobody likes Vulperian.
false. A ton of people love Vulperian. If this is your thing, we're not here to judge you. It's not ours. I don't know, just the way it moves, it creeps me out.
Yeah.
Skeevy,
I mean, they knocked it out of the park with the Moonkin and the druid,
Yeah.
or the turtle and
They deserve
everything
a little
else,
bit of a
but
pass.
this like they just kind of were like, I don't know.
You know?
Maybe they ran out of time. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. One of the big things that we know about BFA is we're gonna have a ton of dungeons. About as many as we had a ton in Legion, too. We didn't have a ton in WoD, but they have not dropped the ball in dungeons. Let's start with Waycrest Manor if you have that up. Waycrest Manor is probably my favorite dungeon in BFA that we've seen so far. What about you? Do you like Waycrest Manor?
Yeah, this one. I mean,
Just
I've loved the
aesthetically for
Dustfar
me,
and the
it's-
witches, all
yeah,
that kind of
but
lore stuff.
me too. It's just like something about it. It's dark. It's gloomy. It's what Blacker Cold should have been.
Yeah, it looks like like Black Cold just got a remodel.
Yeah.
It's way better.
But like Blacker Cold is cool and everything. It has that dark, gloomy atmosphere. But the problem with Blacker Cold is it just feels so, I don't know. It just feels so not alive. This has something that they like. There's an art job in Blizzard called environmental artist, and what they do is they do stuff like place candelabras and put books in places, and their job is to make things feel alive. And they really knocked it out of the park with this one. Like just the trash in places, there's so much going on that it just breathes, and you really don't necessarily get that otherwise.
Yeah, I like this guy right here, this pig zombie dude.
Yeah,
with the
that guy,
meat
that guy's
cleaver.
awesome. He is a boss. I think his name's Glutton or something like that. The bosses look like a ton of fun. A ton of variety too, And also, I love bosses like this because you might run this thing 100 times because you will be, it's Mythic Plus.
Oh
But
yeah, for sure.
even
And
if you
especially now since the mounts are dropping in Mythic Pluses.
yes, although I don't think this one has a mount. Even if you're running this 100 times, I still think every time you see that boss, you're gonna kind of laugh and you're gonna kind of have some fun, And
Yeah.
that's what's important. It's not random NPC who is a race that already exists in the game. It's something different. And you do definitely have those kind of just random NPC bosses in here, but not a ton of them. You have those cool witch models.
Yeah, I'm just really excited about all the witch lore and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Druxfar, as a lot of people saying, Druxfar is their favorite zone. I know Rose said that. I have a buddy who's in beta who loves Druxfar. I think Druxfar really, the aesthetic carries so well into this dungeon, and it fits so awesomely. What are other dungeons we've had this sort of so far? We've also had what, King's Rest, right? I don't know if we want to pull
Yeah.
that up.
Oh, sir.
The King's Rest is really cool. We don't have a ton for it. We mostly just have some bosses, some NPCs and stuff. But King's Rest is kind of it's almost like Zandalari, the zone, not the zone, the temple, the starting city. It's very much like a large golden temple.
Is this in game? This isn't in BFA. Is it in beta yet?
Yeah. Well, see the thing. They open and close this one, I think.
Mm.
But if you look at the bosses, you can kind of get a little bit more about it. It does definitely look like an interesting one. You're going to get a lot of variety for this one. You fight. This is another one we're going to be fighting large dinosaurs. You're going to be fighting one of the dinosaurs. Honestly, very interesting. Another really interesting one we have is we don't really have much picture for this one.
Yeah.
We also have the Siege of Borealis. I don't know if we have a ton of pictures for that one either. But Siege of Borealis is very interesting. This one's going to actually happen inside of Borealis. It's going to get attacked by Queen Ajara.
And this one you get the mummified raptor and the mummy that we wanted for Halloween. But
yeah, that's the King's Rest. That's where we get that from.
Oh, that's the King's Rest right there.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Let's see. It says Siege of Borealis. Here it is.
Yeah. We just have some boss lists for that. And then the Golden Serpent. I'm trying to think of other dungeons that we've heard a fair bit about. Wasn't there a prison one? What that one was called? Oh, there was definitely the Motherlode. We can't forget about the Motherlode. That is one of the coolest bosses in game.
Yeah, and this also drops that like pimped out Yogg head, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what you get from the Motherlode.
Does this take place on the Goblin, the starting zone?
Yes, it takes on Kazan. That's why a while back we actually might have not mentioned it on the show because we thought it wasn't news, but we had got a leaked map of Kazan in the BFA like data stuff, and apparently this is what it's for. This is Kazan. So we're going back there, obviously to like recover some tech and stuff. Because obviously all of the mine equipment for Azerite is from Goblin tech, so we need all the Goblin stuff we can get. And look
at that sophisticated tech right there.
Complex Goblin tech.
It just looks like you throw explosives on top of each other, and then
What's
that's
wrong
how you
with
mine.
That? It works.
I think anybody can pull that off, don't you?
No, it is very skilled Goblin engineering.
Oh yeah, just throw shit on top of each other and then let it fly.
Yeah, this one most of the bosses are we have a few that are like Azerite golems kind of things. Then we have a few mechanical ones, and we have a few goblins. This one's definitely very interesting. What do you think your favorite dungeon that we know so far in BFA is? Do you think it's are you a big Waycrest Banner guy? Is that your thing?
For right now, I think, but I'm sure it's probably gonna change once we actually get in and start
I don't
running
know.
them over and over and stuff.
For me, it's either Waycrest Manor or it might be, if I'm being honest, it might be Freehold. Freehold was actually one of the first dungeons that we got to look at. Freehold is the pirate dungeon. You get to basically join up with some different pirate factions. So it might be Freehold is my favorite.
Yeah, I think any dungeon that's probably gonna drop a mount might be my favorite.
Freehold is going to be dropping a mount. It's going to be dropping a parrot mount, and that's been confirmed. I don't know what boss it drops off. I'm assuming the Sky Captain Crag, where you actually get the parrot from. But Freehold for me is very aesthetically pleasing. It's like this misty, dank, piratey area.
Yeah, the dank pirating area.
What would you call it?
I don't know. I mean, dank. I don't know if that's the right word.
Yeah, wet, watery. I don't know what. It's kind of giving me a Grizzly Hill vibes in some places.
The moist area.
Very moist, yeah. Don't you get a Grizzly Hills sort of thing?
Maybe a little bit with the background.
A little bit of howling. a little bit of the Howling Fjord.
Yeah, I could see that.
All compliments, of course, because those are some of the most iconic WoW zones.
Yeah. I mean, I want to be the same without a Grizzly Hills or anything like that.
Yeah, definitely. Nagrand. There's something give me a Nagrand vibe. So, yeah, I don't know. Definitely a really cool dungeon. Um, all pirate themed. I love pirates. If anyone didn't know that, that's probably why it's one of my favorites. Let's see. Have we missed any other dungeons, or is that basically all we've really heard about so far?
I think we have, what do we got? Underrot?
Underrot, yeah. We
That's
don't
what
know.
this guy here, it's a dart looking dude.
Hmm. Yeah, we don't know a ton about the Underrot. Now that's going to be a dungeon in Zandalzar. I keep on saying, yeah, the Zandalar area. The Blood Trolls. But yeah, that's where that guy's from. I assume it's going to have some old god connections.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, doesn't it?
Yeah, because Cthulhu, who is directly connected to the old god, confirmed is like a bloodworm, kind of like that guy. Well, I think we also get a mount from that too. That looks like that.
Yeah, I think it is this guy right here. You get a mount. So, you just kind of get a saddle on top of him.
Which honestly, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, more mounts, the better.
Yeah, and one of the things about all the dungeons is like these dungeons seem to have great transmog sets. At least I like them. You know, maybe they're not your thing, but I like them.
I think the cloth set we were looking at.
Yeah, a couple episodes back, definitely that was an awesome set. Are there any other dungeons left before we move on to the next part?
Yeah, I think we've hit on most of them here.
Is that all the BFA stuff we really want to talk about before moving to the Legion retrospective?
I don't have anything to say about BFA other than what we were talking about.
Well, then let us push right in to the Legion retrospective. We're going to close it off, so we're going to go all the way through Antorus. But let's just get off where we left off. Now, we left off with the beginning of the Broken Shore quest line. When you were first getting onto the Broken Shore. Now, I actually, apparently you didn't have trouble, but I had trouble with the quest line to actually get over there. Once you get over there, it's pretty easy. I remember I was doing like every world quest on the map at that point on the Broken Shore.
Yeah.
To
get your rep.
Yeah, to get the rep up, because that's right when they release flying, right? How many weeks did it take you to get flying out?
Oh god, I don't remember. I think I got flying like a week after like all the hardcore people were doing. The people that are like going around killing pretty much anything they saw, and then they would hunt for their chests like all day. So
Yeah,
I was doing my quests and stuff like that every day.
I was just doing the world quest, really. I don't think I was really chest hunting.
Yeah, I mean, if I found a chest while going around, I'd grab it, but I wasn't.
Yeah, of course.
Doing it
Yeah,
8 hours a day, running around the island like some people were.
I knew people who were going crazy. Like they were, yeah, like 8 hours a day farming chests. They were also doing a ton with like, so they spend forever farming chests, but they'd also kill a ton of rares. All the like because there were like particular rares that would give you the sort of pieces. But I got flying pretty quickly. I have a friend. I think I've mentioned it before. Who started Legion pretty recently. He still doesn't have flying because it's actually pretty hard. I think to go back and get flying now, harder than it was when it was current.
Yeah, I believe that, but like if he's starting from the very beginning where you have to go through do all the Suramar and stuff like that.
Yeah, he still has to do a lot of the Suramar stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure that would take him a while to get all that done.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. But yeah, flying was released then, and I think flying. I don't know. Flying kind of broke the game a little bit for me because I really like being on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would have been fine with just using the Flight Master or Whistle the entire expansion.
I get that if they're not gonna have an expansion where they never give us flying, but like I kind of like being on the ground a little bit, And I understand that I guess I could still fly. I could still do ground stuff once flying is released. But like for me, when I have the option to fly, I'm gonna fly. You know, I'm not going to be slow. You know.
Yeah, it's convenient, like, and especially in high mountain. Fuck that.
Yeah. But you lose something with that convenience, you know? And it's not always like instantly understandable what you lose.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like we've been playing the whole expansion, so we really don't need to go back and walk around.
Yeah,
But
I think at least the achievements, other than the actually ironically, other than the broken shore rep, the achievements were all stuff that were pretty manageable that you would have already gotten if you've been playing the game. I didn't really like the fact you had to get the broken shore rep because that was kind of like it would almost felt like that was their way to make people do the broken shore. Because I
yeah,
don't know if I would have done the broken shore otherwise. Like
I think
the
I would
rep
have
was
because
really
you still got gear from it. Doing the
yeah, that's true.
they
It
had the
wasn't
gear
much though.
vendor there when it was relevant, and then I think you got some sort of rewards from doing Antorus
Yeah.
or not Antorus,
No,
Tomb of
it was
Sagaris.
TOV. Before we get to TOV, we can't forget the class mounts because that was huge. In
Oh
fact,
yeah.
that's probably the only reason why I would do the broken shore if there was not the flying requirement. What do you have the class mount for?
I have the class mount for my main tunes, which would be my DK, Pally, and Warlock. I just
Yeah.
recently got the Paladin one because I was really slacking on it.
Why were you not too jazzed to get another horse?
Just going through doing the quest line again. I already done it twice. I was like, I'll get to it eventually, I guess. What about you?
Yeah.
Have you gotten them all for your characters?
Yeah, I have them for my priest and for my monk. I have other characters, but those are the characters I really play. If you know, seriously. Uh, and I got the monk one. Basically, I was following the quest line very closely. So basically, as soon as you started seeing people with the mount, with the class mount, I had the class mount by that point. And I think the monk one was really cool. The monk one was one of the ones that talks to you, and I had never had something like that in WoW.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah, it talks to you. And
Oh,
I really liked it. Obviously, it only was like a minute before I learned all the voice lines, but nonetheless.
yeah. The one thing about the talking, the Frost DK sword, when you kill something, there's a chance that Arthas will like show up, and it's like
He
a
shows
shadow
up.
of him. Yeah, and then he like, yeah, I think he does like a chat bubble or something like that. But I've only seen him a couple times ever, like once or twice,
Oh
maybe three
wow,
times. So it's pretty rare.
interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I always like stuff that talks to, and it's always like kind of just an interesting little thing. Let's see what else. What else
Well,
were the class mounts?
what
Class
do you
mounts
think of
weren't
the
that hard to
design for
get.
the class mounts and overall?
I thought that they were really cool. There was a few ones that were kind of letdowns, like the Paladin mount. It wasn't bad. It was a good, it was a good model, but it was just a letdown because it felt really boring, you
Yeah,
know. And like in a
it's
world
yeah.
where you get all these awesome mounts, it felt really boring. Also, for me, I think they kind of shoehorned flying in on a lot of the mounts, and it kind of felt weird. Like I understand why.
Yeah, especially the paladin. The
Right?
paladin just looks really weird with like
It's just a
they
horse
got
that
like clouds underneath its feet or something
yeah,
crazy.
it's just a horse that happens to fly. It's like I get it. They couldn't they have to make it fly, but it just felt really shoehorned. And they could have given it like Pegasus wings or something. That would have been cool. But instead they just kind of shoehorned it
Yeah,
in.
kind of like a play on Arthas kind of
Yeah, with like invincible.
yeah, so it could have been like the holy version of that maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. They just could have done something to make it like less, you know, out there and egregious.
Yeah, I mean my warlock horse, I really like that one because of the way it looks, but it also can fly. But I think that makes a little more sense because it's a fell.
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me. Like a flying
It's
fell
fell
horse.
enchanted
Yeah,
horse,
it's
so
like it's kind of like the headless horseman mount or something, except
yeah,
unfair.
exactly. But
Except people
then
can actually get it.
I really like doing my Death Knight one, where I had to
Yeah,
go
some of the
back
quest
to
lines
Ice
are actually
Crown,
pretty fun.
I think,
Yeah,
or yeah, the Zone Ice Crown. Then I dug up an old dragon and I basically tamed it there.
like that's cool. I think the monk one was pretty cool too. You go to Panda Land, and you have to track down this sort of it's like Shaolin or something like that, Beijing tiger, and it turns out it's actually a person in disguise, but that's besides the point. But it's fun because you actually
What
kind
the
of immerse
fuck?
into it.
It's a person in disguise.
No, it's actually like it's really like a panda monk or whatever, but like the panda monk is also a druid. It's really weird.
Interesting. Maybe Druid Panda's confirmed in the future.
Yeah, sure.
You're gonna have a big old tiger running around.
But they can only get rode. You know. Anyway, besides the point. The priest one was kind of a letdown as far as quest line. I mean, you did something with Magni Bronzebeard or whatever. You kind of go and you talk to him and he takes you into some Titan tombs. It was fine. It was just wasn't anything very impressive.
Yeah, I feel like that was the same way with my Warlock one. Like, honestly, I don't really remember much what I did. I think I had to go, like, kill something and tame or enslave this horse or something like that.
Yeah, see, part of the problem is that, like, when they have to design class mounts for, like, what is it, 12 classes? Is that right, or is it 13? Whatever. When you have to design like 12 class mounts, some of them are going to fit really cool, and be very natural and interesting. But some of them are just going to be letdowns. So that's just kind of always how it's going to have to be.
Yeah, even the Paladin one was kind of a letdown. The quest to get it was pretty cool because you go back into Stratholme and then you have to like defeat the dude that rides Rivendare or whatever his name is. Mm-hmm. So you bless that horse and you bring it back to life and then it becomes your steed.
Yeah, that's not bad. I don't know.
Yeah, it's better than going to do whatever you did on the Warlock one.
One of the problems with the class mounts is that you had to do the weekly quests on Broken Shore, and those were kind of boring. Like I remember one of them was like kill 100 demons or whatever, and that was kind of a letdown.
Yeah.
All of those quests, they were all leading up to the opening of Tomb of Sargeras. Now, quick thoughts on Tomb of Sargeras as a raid?
I kind of like Tomb of Sargeras. I think my favorite fight in there was probably the second. Well, I don't know if they're officially the second one, but Demonic Inquisition. Usually it was the second boss fight people did.
Yeah, for us, but yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Also, just a little bit of some fun dab facts. This is when me and Ro, the fateful day, we became one. It was around Tomb of Sargeras. I don't remember what part in Tomb. What's part?
Yeah, I think.
Was it already on Farm KJ yet or no?
No, definitely not.
I
think it was like, how many bosses were in there?
13.
Yeah, I think there were probably like 10 in or something like that.
Oh, okay, so we got a little while of progression together, but it was a good time. I really enjoyed Tomb of Sargeras as a whole. One of my favorite raids in Legion. I've always said it's probably my favorite raid in Legion, but it's hard to say. It's either that or Nighthold.
Yeah, I think Tomb of Sargeras. I felt like Tomb of Sargeras should have been like the last raid.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that too. Let's just go through the bosses real quick. So you started off with Garathi, a pretty mild opening boss.
Garathi, really isn't that on Taurus?
No, you're thinking of Garathi Worldbreaker. Same name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or maybe not Garathi, maybe just Garath.
Oh.
They're very similar.
The green lizard dude?
Yeah. He's a fine boss. His mechanic is very simple, but if you fuck it up, you die. And that could kind of sum up Tomb of Sargeras as a whole. Very simple, but if you fuck up, you die.
Except for what was that? The one that was like the sisters or whatever it was called.
Oh, Sisters of the Loon or whatever. That boss sucked.
Yeah, that was brutal sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that boss was just confusing. But let's not get too into it. So Demonic Inquisition was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed that boss. It was kind of a weird boss as far as tanking is concerned, because tanks always seem to have trouble with like how to face the boss. But that's here nor there. Then you depending on how you went. For us, at least, we had the Murloc guy, Harshatan. He was a pretty boring boss, but he wasn't that bad. Then you had one of the harder progression bosses, Mistress.
Oh god, yeah,
that boss is brutal.
Yeah.
There's a soaking mechanic that's pretty required, where you have to soak up some purple pools.
You have to
There's
take the
lines.
ink back to the whale, otherwise it would
Yeah,
kill you.
right. But if you get too close to the whale, you die.
Yeah.
And if you stay in the whale's area too long, you die. And you die, you die.
You just basically die in that fight.
Yeah, and then like there's the line mechanic always seemed to get glitched too, where like it shot a line through it.
Oh,
Like people would always seem to
the
mess that
Hydra
up.
shot or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
that always would get like
It was
overlapped.
I
I
personally
don't know.
thought that thing was hard to see too.
Yeah, it was probably a graphics setting thing. Overall, Mistress probably one of the lower points in Tomb of Sargeras. I don't know if I'd say she was the worst boss. The worst boss, I would say, it would probably be Sisters, right? It was just confusing.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it
no,
went
I
through
think killed
three different.
Jaden. Killed
Oh,
Jaden
you
by
forgot about
far.
Kill Jaden. Yeah, okay, you're right. But this just was just confusing. It had multiple phases. It was one of those bosses which was super different from normal to heroic. Um, but
Yeah.
basically, it's like you had to stay in the right area, but at the same time, like it really didn't matter. Like even on like higher difficulties, like even on mythic mode, the buff that you got from staying in the area really wasn't that bad. The only problem on mythic mode is if when you switch, you did damage to everyone. But that's beside the point. I don't know. I thought Sisters was probably one of the lower points. Then you have Desolate Host, which is a really fun boss. I always love the bosses where you split the raid. Despite the fact that splitting the party is never suggested.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting too, where you had to like do the one underneath under zone or whatever you want to call it, and then the one on the top zone. And then you had that second boss that spawns you have to do the swap with. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and then obviously you have the upper part. You have Maiden.
Oh my!
Maiden was
I
a hard,
hated
Maiden
Maiden.
was a hard boss. I don't think I hated
I don't
Maiden.
think she was hard. It was just unforgiving.
Yeah, I think people had a lot of trouble with her. I thought she was a fun boss though. I didn't think people had trouble with her, but that's their problem. Fuck them.
Ah, I hated Maiden because I mean, let's be honest here. Not you can't be perfect every single pull. So if you
If
mess
you
up
fuck up on the
once,
bombs,
and then
yeah, I guess.
your group's pretty much dead.
Yeah, no. This is one of the problems with Tomb of Sargeras that everyone has sort of mentioned before. There's so much personal responsibility, and it's so easy to wipe the raid.
Yeah, at least on
No.
heroic. I think normal you could get away with a little bit more stuff.
Let's see. Then we obviously have Avatar,
Yeah,
which was a pretty hard boss in its time. However, it's one of those bosses that's like dramatically easier now. It was kind of a DPS check.
it was a DPS check, but the tanks also had to get it right. So
Yeah, but having run it recently, it really isn't a big deal anymore. But one of the bosses that hasn't gotten any easier and groups still wipe on in LFR apparently, although I don't do LFR, so I can't vouch for that personally. Is Kill Jaden.
yeah,
And sadly, it's one of the bosses that people have to do still to try to get the artifact appearance for it.
yeah.
Kill Jaden, very difficult. Now,
It's the Armageddons, man.
it's the
Stupid
Armageddon. That was the
Armageddons.
problem with Kill Jaden. They were tuned way too hard if they got missed. Like I get the point, but they tuned it way too hard.
Yeah.
It was
I
just
think
brutal.
after it killed Jin, they said that they're not gonna make another fight like that again.
Yeah,
So
I understand. That's
hopefully
fine.
we don't see anything like that in
Because the
BFA.
problem is, like, if you survive the Armageddon, you're gonna get fucked because your healers probably ran out of mana keeping everyone alive.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like,
I mean, it basically required you to bring people that had immunities, which, I haven't seen
yeah.
in WoW in a long time where you're required to bring this certain class.
Well, that we haven't seen in WoW in a long time on all difficulty levels. That's been something that they've been using and doing in Mythic, which is fine because I think for the Mythic space it makes sense. But for Heroic and Normal, yeah, we haven't seen that in forever.
Yeah. I mean, I guess normal you could get away with it, like other people popping defensives, but like on heroic, you were gonna need an immunity.
Fucked. Yeah, you either need immunity or be okay with having people die.
Yeah, so that was kind of shitty.
Yeah,
but I did like the intermission where you go into you have to go find the one. Was it Illidan? You had to go find for the site.
Yeah, you had to find Illidan, so that was fun, I guess. And then once you killed it for the first time, and I killed. No, that killed Argus first. It took me forever to kill KJ. Anyway, but once I killed KJ, you go outside, you look up, and above you is Argus, and that was like awesome. Was that cool
Yeah.
to you too? Like for me, that was like the coolest spectacle. That suddenly you look in the air and there's a giant fuck off planet right there.
I think I didn't even notice it until like a couple days after I killed
But
June
like
for the first time.
it's just there, and it's crazy that it's in every single zone, and that must
Yeah.
be like that must have been hard for them to do. You know, I don't know if
Maybe.
Skybox has
I don't
built
know.
anything, but I don't know. I think it's really cool that that happened. And then obviously, not that long after that, we started to actually go to Argus. And it wasn't the opening Argus campaign was, I'd say, notably easier than the opening Broken Shore campaign. The stuff there was tuned pretty hard, but it was fine. And that was where we got, I think, the biggest catch-up mechanic as far as gear is concerned, because we had a gear vendor um, on the Broken Shore, but I feel like the Argus gear, of course, it's going to be higher eye level because it came out later, but it was like significantly more relevant, I think.
Yeah, was it like 910 for it?
Yeah, and that was
And
only
then
a
normal
few.
is dropping like 9. Was it 930?
Yeah,
Normal.
it's only I mean 20 eye levels below, but that's higher than it was higher than the LFR gear,
Yeah. Uh. Yeah. No.
which is how I think.
LFR is 5 eye levels higher.
Oh well, still,
Base. But
well,
yeah.
come on, it's gonna Warforge or whatever. Like it gets you on par with LFR. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, and it's a good way to catch up your alts too.
Yeah,
Get them ready for BFA.
and you also had the ability to buy relics too.
Yeah, you can buy every slot, and I like that to where you
Fully
could
geared
buy
out
a
relic.
trinket and it would roll, any trinket in the game. So
And
I
of
was
course, you're going for your Arcano crystals or whatever.
yeah, which I
You know.
I ended up getting a 910 Arcano crystal.
Damn, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Maybe you can finally solo her normal Emerald Nightmare Xavius.
Hey man, you give me a clear out, and I'll do it on my warlock.
Fuck it. We usually clear Emerald Nightmare actually on in my guild once we finish the raid night. So I'll get you. I'll get that set up for you, bro.
Well,
You know,
my warlock's not horde, so
we'll figure it out. Anyway, so let's see. Antorus, you had a few on the Antorus actual place. So it had a quest line, and the quest line really you only did it to if you wanted to get the mount or if you wanted to get the crystal that gives you unlimited veiled stones, and of course if you wanted void elves or light forge draenei, you should have been doing it, but we didn't really know about that at that point.
yeah.
The Antorus quest line was pretty boring, but the world quests were fine, and it also introduced invasions, which gave you normal quality gear, and I thought that was really interesting for gearing up the invasions. Not invasions, the invasion points, but you get teleported into a little boss.
Yeah, I
But
like those. And the Greater Invasion, it's like the
yeah,
weekly boss. I
I
thought
have
those were a lot
I have
better.
not touched, in all honesty, I've not touched Antorus in like months.
Yeah, I mean, I've stopped doing
Yeah,
world
but
quests and all that shit on my
what it just
characters right
came down
now.
to is like, I don't know. As far as repeatable content is concerned, Antorus, that well dried up very quickly. And it's just because it was so ambitious. You know, they tried to make 3 new zones, and they were never going to be able to make 3 new zones that were as fully fleshed out as a WoW zone because it's not a new expansion; it's a raid tier.
Yeah.
It was very ambitious, and they kind of fell a little bit flat on their face. But luckily, the Antorus raid came out pretty quickly after sort of the point at which most people were done with TOS. That's true about all the raids; they kind of came out, I think, pretty well timed. Antorus is a raid. What do you think about that? I think it was pretty good. It was kind of quick though.
Yeah, I think it was alright. I mean, it was cool to go in and see all this stuff, but I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite raid.
Yeah, it was easy as all get out. I cleared heroic Antorus the first week. Of course, they
Yeah.
actually buffed it after the first week because it was so easy, which is unheard of now. I mean, really, that's like the one time I can really think where they've done that.
Yeah,
Where
and
they
I think
buff
the
something.
harder bosses, like what are those? The Coven. It's just
Yeah, those were too hard, and it's
I think
just
it's still way overtuned for what it
see
is.
the problem is that here's the problem with Antorus, in my opinion. The bosses that are hard are too hard because they're based on mostly RNG, and the bosses that are easy are just a joke. there's no, I don't know, there's no good medium bosses, and the whole thing went by way too quickly to be a keystone raid or like a capstone raid.
Yeah.
Let's just run through the bosses real quick. Obviously, you start off with Garathi Worldbreaker. Fine, it's a good opening boss, I think. Another thing about this expansion I haven't mentioned yet. The raids are super open as far as what path you take. Now that doesn't mean that people are going to take different paths, but they have the option to. Anyway, you then you go up to dogs. The dogs were pretty fun. Actually, I think dogs are one of my favorite bosses in that place because I think they're pretty well tuned. Then you have ENR, which I don't like ENR at all because on heroic it's so easy that it's boring, and on mythic it's really hard. Have you done
Yeah.
ENR in mythic?
I have, and it was just
It
a
is like,
fucking
oh
hell.
my god!
I mean, I thought
It
the
is
fight was really cool, but Jesus, the jump from
it's
heroic to
yeah,
mythic
it's
is
not a
insane.
no yeah, that's my problem with this. Like you get bored out of your mind progressing on heroics, then you go into mythic progression for it, and you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Like what? I didn't even know this boss had mechanics. Then you
Yeah, pretty much.
obviously
I mean,
have
like normal's an AFK fest, right?
yeah,
And then
even
you go
heroic to an extent.
looking for LFR in normal or like AFK, and then you go to heroic, and you're like, okay, maybe I should do a little bit here. And then mythic, you're like, even when everybody's trying the hardest, you're like wiping them all the
Hard
time.
boss. Yeah, it's a really hard boss. Anyway, you also have Portal Keeper. That boss I think it's pretty well tuned. It's another decent one in there. What other bosses we got? Antoran High Command, which to this day I still don't know what the heck is going on during that fight. I just get into the guns and shoot. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then you obviously have this is where you kind of cut into the upper zone. There you start off with the bridge boss, who's a pretty good time. However, as a healer, it kind of sucks because nobody knows what they're doing. And the sleep canisters, I think the range on the sleep canisters is just a little bit too big.
Yeah, I had troubles with my Death Knight with that because I was slow, and people would
But
get
you're
pissed
not gonna
off.
be
It's like, I
yeah.
don't know what you want me to do. You got to move the boss or something,
No,
Stop
honestly,
your
people
DPS
should
for a
be
fucking second, Jesus.
see what people need to be doing, and this is just hot tip from Dab. They need to be doing this is a strat that you'll see in Mythic sometimes, where you'll let obviously you have your range spread out because they can do that. But for melee, you have them stack in one location. You let the bombs go off. Then you move the boss with everyone. Obviously, they're melee, so moving it doesn't really matter much. Then you dispel the people at that location, one by one.
Yeah.
But that's about as best as I've seen that boss done.
And the bridge was a bitch when
Yeah,
people
the
weren't
bridge
paying
is
attention.
it's hell to heal, man. It's hell to heal. Then you have Kingaroth, one of the memeiest bosses. They never got the Ruiner right. The Ruiner flies all over the place, kills like 20 fucking people. It's like
I don't know. I personally kind of like Kangaroth.
it's
an
no, it's a
interesting
fine
fight.
boss. It's just that the Ruiner is glitched, and it's a real problem.
Is it really glitched?
Yeah, you didn't know
On
that?
Mythic?
Yeah.
What about on Heroic?
Yeah.
What?
You've
Really?
never seen it glitch? You've never seen it be in one location, start, and then fly to another location instantly?
I can't recall that now.
Wow. Also, the bombs are really sucky. Then, of course, you have Varamathras, another fine fight.
That
Coven,
no,
which is
that guy sucks.
you don't
It
like
was a
Varamathras?
boring fight.
Really?
Boring.
Boring, but it's
Boring.
fun to heal. It's fun to heal. It's fun to
I
DPS.
may I
You don't
might
have
as
to
well
worry
be in my
about
class
anything.
order all just beating on a target dummy the whole time.
Do you not enjoy that?
No, man, it's boring. I don't. I mean, what
Okay,
the hell?
okay. Different strokes. Coven was we talked about Coven.
I think that fight's
Agrimar,
universally hated.
yeah, I don't think we need to say anything about that. Agrimar's pretty fine. It's hard, but it's fine. And then you have the last boss who is undertuned as heck at the start, and it's still kind of pretty easy. You have Argus. I mean,
Yeah.
for a world soul, he's pretty easy. You know?
Yeah, and then for like he's supposed to be like some badass titan or whatever, or the embodiment of Sagaris, right, or
I
something
mean,
like that.
mechanics are hard enough for that boss. It just feels like I don't know. Something about it does feel pretty jokey. You know?
I think it's probably like going the transition from phase 2 to 3 because everybody comes back to life. Or
Yeah,
was that phase 3 to
that's
4?
no, that's true. No, I think that really might be it because it does feel like the first couple phases death doesn't matter. The last couple phases death also doesn't matter because you can res yourself for a while. And
Yeah, and you can grab
maybe it's just my
orbs and
guild's
buff your
maybe
group,
it's just
which
my
is
guild's
part of it.
DPS. Maybe it's just my guild's DPS, but like I rarely see the tree go down anymore.
Yeah.
Because we'll kill it before it happens. And like so,
I mean, yeah, like you could be in phase 3 or whatever it is, and you're like, oh, 5 or 6 DPS is dead. Like, no, that doesn't matter. Let's just get to the next phase. Like that would never happen in any other fight. Like
that's totally true.
that
definitely
you'd call a wipe.
Yeah, I think basically that's been all that we've had so far. Oh, obviously we had the allied race got added around this time, and the allied races I think they got pretty decent reception and they were pretty fine. The only ones I was disappointed with are maybe the Lightforged Draenei and the High Mount Tauren. But disappointed. I mean, I could have wanted more from them, but they weren't really that bad.
You're disappointed with the High Mountains?
Yeah.
Really? I
Not
thought
like
they have amazing
their,
heritage armor.
Not their racial. No, their heritage armor is cool. I don't know. They're just not. Them as a race aren't that interesting to me.
Yeah, they're basically just torn with moose antlers, right? So.
Anyway.
I started leveling a Lightforged Draenei mage, and I'm gonna make a battle mage. Yeah, man. I mean, it's gonna be the only mage that has like plate aesthetics, right? So it's gonna look like a battle mage. I mean, how everybody's been asking for that.
You're gonna be the only Lightforged Draenei who exists.
Well, I'm gonna have a fucking set of plate. I'm gonna be rolling around in, and all the other mages are gonna be goddamn jealous.
Okay. Anyway, let's get to the segment that we've all been waiting for. Big final Row's final transmog segment. Let's start with the winner from last week. I sent you the poll. It's not the poll. Yeah, the poll that I just sent you. That's going to be that's going to show who the winner is. Can we get a drum roll, please?
Wait, what? Hold on. I have to choose an answer. Oh, wait, no, I can... Wait, what the hell?
I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter who you vote for. Vote for Dab.
Oh, this is the wrong one, I think. Yeah, that's the wrong one. Hold on 1 second.
The one that says...
Alright. Half pace? Is that who it is?
Yep.
5 votes? Dab, you only got 1 vote? Would you vote for yourself?
I may have or may not have. But that is relevant. But yeah, we can also. I also sent you his transmog if you want to pull it up on screen. It is a piratey mog, but the theme was ancient, so vague.
Is this the one? The first one you sent me? Wait. Okay. So this is this week. Yeah, this is this week's, right?
What? That's what he. No. Go down to the bottom, and that's what mog he won with. It's the last one I sent you. I just sent it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, not too bad. Kind of Sea of Thieves-ish got going on there, huh?
Yeah, very solid mog. I'm a fan. It works.
No hat though. No hat. I don't know how you feel about that.
But you know what? It happened. It's who people voted for. That's his business. Good for him. Anyway, now we can start off with the mugs this week. This week, of course, is fire. Let's see. We're going to start off with Crimson. He's on the voting sheet here as Crim. Let me just post the voting sheet in chat real quick. Anyway, Crimson has a good mug. What do you think about this mug?
I think it's a decent mug. The only thing that throws it off is that the eye there, the Kirin Tor eye or whatever it is right there.
Right where?
On his helmet.
On his hat. Yeah, I kind of see that. I think I like the helmet though.
Yeah, I mean it has a good color, but like if you can get rid of that eye, I think it'd be really good.
Yeah, that's actually the class order hall set. The class order hall eye. I like the use of the wings. Definitely really cool use of them. Definitely works.
Is that from a toy or is that out of his
Toy, yeah.
gear?
That's a toy.
Oh, cheating.
No, that's not cheap. You can do whatever you want. Next on the list, who do we got next? Have the Arch, main man Arch. If he had sent in his Mog for the faction pride, he would have won. So let's let him win this week. I like this set. It's very classic warrior. The fire on it's very subdued. I mean, it's very clearly a fire Mog, but it's not over the top. What do you think about this set?
Yeah, I like this set a lot. You want to know why?
Why?
It's using a lot of Death Knight gear.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm not surprised about that.
I think that helm there is from Old War, and then the shoulders he has there. I think that's from Heroic.
Oh, you're right. That is from. Yeah.
And then the gloves there, I think those are from Heroic as well.
Yeah, this is one of those
and
classic.
The belt there, that's from Heroic. So he has like 4 pieces of DK gear on.
This is I think it's a very impressive use of the War helm though, because I would not have guessed that, you know? And you wouldn't think about it when you think of fire. Like I think it's a very creative use of it. He also uses a red tabard or something. It's hard to tell because he hasn't yet got his back surgery.
Yeah, he hasn't seen the chiropractic yet.
Yeah, he hasn't done that yet. But I think the tabard works. It's a good undertone. I think that the game has a lot of trouble with plate chest pieces. Be sure to grab one of the things where you can see the shield, because I think the shield works really well. That's obviously his artifact shield, but it looks badass.
Oh yeah, I think this is the hidden appearance for Warrior.
Mm-hmm. The hidden appearance for.
I think that one looks pretty good. It's the shield makes the Mog shine.
I think it does too. That's why I wanted to make sure you showed it. I think the shield is probably one of the best parts of the Mog, and it fits the set together so well. Awesome fire set. Really love it. Honestly, I think you should wear it more often. We also have the next one. We have another mage. This is Ping. This is her set. Very fire. Very classic fire. Kind of a subdued, darker thing going on, like a darker red or crimson. You obviously have the fire orbs from being a mage.
Yeah, we're on Nixia's lair.
Yeah, this is Nixia's lair. And the other, yeah.
I don't know. I think I like the other guys better. Art or what's his name?
No, the first one was Crimson. Or wait, Arch was the second one. Which are you talking about? The other
Arch.
mage or the? Yeah, I kind of agree. I think Arch really knocked it out of the park this week. Now, of course, we have the winner, Dab. Clear victor. We can all agree.
But, I don't know. I think I'm not sure what's going on here, but there's a lot of red in this picture.
Now? In what? In mine or pink?
Yeah, in yours.
Very red. I picked.
Where are you? Firelands?
Yeah, I'm right outside of Firelands.
I didn't know it's that. I mean, it almost looks pink to me.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is. I like this Mog. I'm using the staff from Firelands, the shoulders from Firelands, and the rest is from random places. The belt is from PvP. The helm is the fiery circle helm.
Dab, I'm disappointed in you.
You don't like this one?
Nah, man.
This is honestly one of my favorite Mogs.
I think your setting is just too much. If you would have been somewhere else, I think it would have been a lot better.
That's your humble opinion. That's wrong.
Yeah.
So, of course, you can go and cast your vote for the winner. Obviously, the correct choice is on top, Dab. And you can just click on vote for Dab. And cast your vote. We'll announce the winner next week. Now, we can't leave without giving you the hot tips, the hot deets on on sort of next week. So next week, we're actually going to be changing the day. It's going to be now instead of being a Sunday show, it's going to be a Saturday show. And instead of the lovable Roah, I'm going to be joined with Crimson. He's been on the show before. He's submitted some Mogs. Big guy of the show. So it's going to be Saturday, starting at 4, so same start time, but just on Saturdays. You shouldn't expect that much of a change other than instead of me being joined by the lovable Roah, I'll be joined by the lovable Crimson. But I think it's changed for the better,
Oh, yeah, okay.
Wow. I'm kidding. I love Roah. I could never replace him, but I'm going to.
I just have some stuff that I need to handle. IRL.
He has excuses. That's fine. Bro, do you
Yeah.
want to, given it being your last show, you want to do the send off?
I don't know. It just feels kind of weird, doesn't it?
So is that a no? I'll do the send off for you.
Oh, maybe I'll be a special guest or something every now and then.
don't don't be surprised if you see him in Raid Radio related content. As always, I've been Dab. I'm joined with the lovable Ro, and obviously, if you're on YouTube, you can like and subscribe and comment. If you're on Twitch, make sure to follow if you're not already following us. Go to our Twitter to check out when we post various things, mostly Mog details. Well, we will be posting the straw poll like on Twitter. If you're on YouTube, the straw poll link will be in the description below. Also, if you're on YouTube, go in the description below and just read that shit because we work really hard on writing those descriptions, and they deserve to be read. Thank you all for watching this special episode of Raid Radio. We will see you all again next week on Saturday. And now I have to go change a bunch of promotional material.
Yeah, and that's Saturday at the same time on Sunday,
Eastern
right?
Standard Time, yes.
All right. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. What is it? Good evening, good morning, and good night.
No. It's good morning, afternoon, and evening.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
Alrighty.